a WikiVidi documentaries production. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy. Happy Death Day to You. Happy Death Day to You is a 2019 American sci-fi black comedy slasher film written and directed by Christopher Landon. It stars Jessica Rothe, Israel Broussard, Phi Vu, Rachel Matthews, Suraj Sharma, and Ruby Modine. The film again follows Tree Gelbman, who is accidentally transported to another dimension, where she must relive a different version of the same day repeatedly as she tries to return home, while a new killer is on the loose. The film is a sequel to 2017's Happy Death Day, with Jason Blum again serving as a producer through his Blumhouse Productions company. The film was released on February 13, 2019, by Universal Pictures. It received mixed to positive reviews from critics, who praised Roth's performance, as well as the film's shift to a more sci-fi tone, although some noted it as derivative of the first film. Plot: college student Ryan wakes up in his car on Tuesday, September 19. Returning to his dorm room, he walks in on his roommate Carter and Carter's girlfriend Tree. He resumes work on an experimental quantum reactor with fellow students Samar and Dre. After Bronson, the school dean, shuts down the project for triggering several power outages, Ryan is murdered by someone dressed as Babyface, and wakes up again on Tuesday the 19th. Tree explains her experience reliving Monday the 18th, and she and Carter agree to help Ryan. They learn the reactor was responsible for creating the new loop. The new Babyface tracks Ryan down, but Tree subdues and unmasks him to reveal another Ryan. The second Ryan warns that the original must die for the loop to close. Terrified, Ryan activates the reactor, releasing a powerful energy pulse. Tree wakes up in Carter's room on Monday the 18th, and relives her original time loop anew. With certain differences, Laurie is not the Babyface killer, and Carter is now dating Danielle. Ryan theorizes that the reactor caused Tree to drift into another dimension. When Tree learns her mother is still alive in this new reality, she decides to stay. That night, Tree goes to the hospital to intercept serial killer John Toombs before he escapes, but is confronted by a police officer before Babyface kills him. Tree runs into Laurie, who tells her that Babyface cannot be Toombs, because she just took him in for surgery. The pair try to escape, but Babyface stabs Laurie, then chases Tree to the roof where she falls to her death. Tree wakes at the beginning of her loop, and demands that Ryan and his team help her escape it, requiring they test dozens of algorithms. At Carter's suggestion, Tree serves as the group's recorder, killing herself at the end of each day so they can start again. Eventually, her injuries catch up with her and she faints. Waking up in the hospital, Tree steals a gun to go after Toombs, only to find Laurie already dead. Babyface attacks and Tree shoots him dead. However, a second Babyface attacks, forcing Tree to kill herself again. The group finally discovers the correct algorithm, but a technical issue forces a delay. Faced with a choice of which reality she wants to be in when both time loops close, Tree decides to remain in the current dimension. Carter urges Tree to consider the consequences of living a life that is not truly hers, and states that her experience with grief helped shape the person she is now. To hide from Babyface, Tree convinces her parents to drive her home. Later that evening, the news reports that Carter was murdered along with Laurie at the hospital. Unable to contact Ryan to stop the experiment, Tree kills herself so she can save Carter and Laurie. The loop restarts, and Tree decides to return to her own reality. She advises Laurie to end her affair with her professor, Dr. Gregory Butler, discovers that Danielle is cheating on Carter, and has a final conversation with her mother at their birthday lunch. Bronson confiscates the reactor before the group can activate it. Believing she is too weak to survive another loop, Tree insists they retrieve the device. The group enlists Danielle to distract Bronson while they recover the reactor. As Ryan readies the device, Tree goes to the hospital to rescue Laurie from Toombs, but is trapped by the second Babyface revealed to be Dr. Butler trying to bury the evidence of his affair with Laurie. Dr. Butler's wife Stephanie appears and shoots Laurie, revealing she is in league with her husband before he betrays and kills her. Carter arrives and Dr. Butler chases Tree, before she outsmarts and kills him. Laurie survives, and Tree and Carter kiss as the reactor activates, sending Tree back to her original dimension on Tuesday the 19th. Tree, Carter, Ryan, Samar and Dre are forced to pick up garbage across campus as punishment for defying Bronson. They are then escorted to a DARPA laboratory, where the reactor has been moved for further experimentation. Tree says she knows the perfect test subject. In her bedroom, Danielle wakes up, screaming in horror. Development. Ahead of the first film's release, director Christopher Landon talked about the possibility of a sequel, focusing on why Tree went into the time loop, stating, "The whole idea for my sequel is actually already in this movie." Actress Jessica Rothe in an interview in 2018 stated that while most horror sequels retread the original, Landon's pitch instead elevates the movie from being a horror movie into a Back to the Future type of genre film where the sequel joins us right from where we left off. It explains a lot of things in the first one that didn't get explained, and it elevates everything. Principal photography on the film began on May 14, 2018, in New Orleans, Louisiana. In November 2018, Ben Baldwin was confirmed to be the film's editor. Release. Happy Death Day to You was released on February 13, 2019. It was originally scheduled to be released one day later, on Valentine's Day. However, the film was rescheduled after a request from a relative of a victim of the Stoneman Douglas High School shooting, which happened exactly 1 year prior. Music. On February 15, 2019, Backlot Music released the original motion picture soundtrack for the film, with music produced by Bear McCreary. The soundtrack did not feature Lizzo's cover of Stayin' Alive. On January 2, 2019, Backlot Music released a cover of Stayin' Alive, performed by Lizzo as a standalone promotional single for the movie. The song plays throughout the first set of end credits before the post-credit scene. Box office. Happy Death Day to You has grossed $26.2 million in the United States and Canada, and $29.2 million in other territories, for a worldwide total of $55.4 million, against a production budget of $9 million. In the United States and Canada, Happy Death Day to You was released alongside Isn't It Romantic, and was projected to gross $17 million from 3,207 theaters in its opening weekend. Opening without Tuesday night previews. The film made $992,000 on its first day, Wednesday, and $2.7 million on Valentine's Day, Thursday, for a two-day total of $3.7 million. It went on to debut at $9.8 million over the weekend, finishing $3.5 million below expectations and fifth at the box office. The film dropped 48% in its second weekend, making $5 million and finishing seventh. Critical response. On review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes, the film holds an approval rating of 67% based on 176 reviews, with an average rating of 5.92. The website's critical consensus reads, "A funnier follow-up with a sci-fi bent." Happy Death Day to You isn't as fiendishly fresh as its predecessor, but fans of the original may still find this a sequel worth celebrating. On Metacritic, the film has a weighted average score of 57 out of 100, based on 31 critics, indicating mixed or average reviews. Audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of B, on an A to F scale, the same score as the first film, while those at Post-Track gave it an average 2.5 out of 5 stars. Kimber Myers, writing for the Los Angeles Times, delivered a positive review, saying, "Happy Death Day to You can't quite replicate the feelings of joy and discovery of the original, but Landon deserves credit for varying the tune, while still playing the hits that will please the fans of its predecessor." Meg Downey, critic for IGN, praised the film, grading it an 8.5 and writing, "Happy Death Day to You deserves a healthy amount of praise for pushing its pedal to the metal all the way through. The level of risk-taking is refreshing, even when it's not completely successful at every single turn." Possible sequel. Regarding the possibility of a third film, writer and director Christopher Landon has stated that he definitely has an idea for the third movie in his head. While producing, studio head Jason Blum has said that if enough people see this movie, we're gonna make a third movie. We want to make a third movie. In March 2019, following the film's less than projected box office gross, Blum said a third film was not very likely, but not impossible. Brought to you by WikiVidi Documentaries. Would you like to know more?